Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Baseball makes for so many beautiful memories. San Diego signature. A shining star brightens young and old, bringing to mind a montage of historic moments to cherish. One for the scrapbook. Kansas City fans capture a hitting hero of the past getting hot in the present. A royal shot for the photo album. Remember last season? Time-tested veterans spark a Chicago Cubs surge, summoning some sweet images of previous success. Memorable sight, warding off thoughts of hard times, the Texas Rangers recollect what it takes to win. So stay tuned for our recall on This Week in Baseball. National League picture. In Philadelphia, the Padres were on parade. Smiles in Philadelphia have been few and far between so far, and spirits didn't improve much after the Phillies lost 3 out of 4 to Western Division leading San Diego, whose dazzling defense committed just 22 errors in 38 games, fewest in the league.
Got a great defense. They look around our infield. We got solid people all the way around. Nettles is never going to wear out. He's just playing better all the time. Garvey's having another great year. We're solid up the middle, and our outfield is just coming along every day.
So is Andy Hawkins, who posted impressive numbers against the Phillies, going all the way for a 4-1 win, dropping his ERA to 2.60 and raising his record to a spotless 9-0. That made him the first National Leaguer to win 9 games this year. And Hawkins had never won more than 8 in an entire season.
Andy has always had good equipment. And it was a question of him getting the confidence to use it and to come after the hitters. I've always said that I want him to challenge the hitters more.
I've seen him pitch since he was in the minor leagues, and he's always had great stuff in the minor league. And when he got to the big leagues, it was like he wasn't really sure of himself. He didn't know if he wanted to be a power pitcher or a finesse pitcher. And now he's found a happy medium in between, and he just goes out there and goes as long as he can because he knows we've got people in the bullpen who can finish it off for him.
You're not going to go out there and just blow people away because you're better. You got to be confident. You got to know you're going to win, and things are going to happen right for you. I feel like when I'm out there, I'm just going to win a ball game. I'm not going to every time, but that's the way I approach it.
Dave Dravecky has also had the right approach. Against the Phillies, he went 7 1/3 innings to win his 4th straight. Busting out from the bullpen has been Goose Gossage, who still has opponents groping for cover from his blazing heat.
Goose has proved that he can still pitch. He's throwing as hard as he ever has. You can ask some of the other hitters in the league, and right now he's just his last 4 or 5 times out he's been as good as I've ever seen him. So Goose is no question mark in my mind.
And no question that Goose's numbers are nifty. Second in the league with 13 saves and 13 chances. His ERA below 2. Yes, indeed, the Goose is loose. Next stop, Chicago, where the Cubs were coming on oh so strong. Cub fans took a sip of the good life when Chicago moved into a first-place tie with New York. But it wasn't exactly a breeze because Houston made waves at Wrigley with a win in the opener. Then in Game 2, both teams put on a shower of power, each blasting out 3 solo home runs through the first 7 innings. In the bottom of the 8th, with the score tied at 3, Davey Lopes decided to join in. Result, the 7th homer of the game and a 5-3 Chicago lead. As for Lopes, at age 39, he's hitting better than .290 and continues to display the spirit of a rookie.
I think everyone goes through in their careers that if they play the game long enough and they have a bad year or 2 bad years, they doubt that they have the ability to bounce back and to perform or most times it's you lose the aggressiveness and the desire to play, not that you're losing the ability, you just don't stay involved emotionally. And most of the guys that retire early is not because they don't have the physical ability, and my belief is they just don't have the desire to play for one reason or another.
No lack of desire on Ron Say's part. 3 of his 6 hits against the Astros were home runs. Also pumping up the Wrigley Field faithful was Jody Davis, who went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs in the finale. The Cubs trailed early in the game, but tied it with 3 and 7, and Ron Say promptly untied it. Penguin power propelled the Cubs to victory, and relief ace Lee Smith came on to collect save number 11 as Chicago took 2 out of 3 and soared 10 games above 500. On to Montreal, where the Expos continued to surprise. Montreal was looking mighty fine when San Francisco came calling. Tim Wallach drove Giant pitchers up the wall. 2 for 4 in one game and 2 for 3 with a game winner in another. Wallach has also been on fire in the field, committing only 3 errors in the 41 games he started. The Expos executed 7 double plays in the series and won 3 out of 4 to close in on the Eastern Division leaders. Bill Gullickson was a maestro on the mound in one game, allowing only 1 run and getting the win to go 6-4. Jeff Reardon wrapped up save number 12 and then got 2 more in his next 2 outings to take over the league lead. In a stretch of 5 outings, 5 saves and no runs to lower his ERA to 1. Oh, what a relief he is. Now, let's open the notebook for this week in baseball TWIV notes from around the National League. There's simply no stopping the St. Louis Cardinals these days. 90 stolen bases in their first 42 games. By far the most in the majors, and on a pace to break the season record of 347 set by the 1911 New York Giants. But there's more to this team than just fancy footwork. Tommy Herr is hitting near 380 to lead the league, and behind his thunderous bat, the Cards are making noise in the East. In addition to their running game, the Cardinals are leading the league in team batting average and runs scored. Could be a Redbird revival is in the works. Cincinnati's Tony Perez is Reds hot. He homered against the Cubs and drove in his 13th run in 5 games. That gave Perez 4 homers in 4 games. And it gave the Reds at least 1 homer in 12 straight games. Houston's Nolan Ryan rolled his express into Wrigley Field and briefly took the steam out of Chicago. The all-time strikeout leaders set down 7 and went the distance for a 6-2 win. The first complete game against the Cubs this year. It also marked the 200th complete game of Ryan's career. Now for this week's quiz, can you name the pitcher with the most complete games in big league history? Stay tuned for an old-time Hall of Famer. American League scene. In Kansas City, a Royal Highness. The Royals were bubbling over with 6 straight wins, including a 3-game tattooing of the White Sox. In Game 1, George Brett put on a Royal command performance, going 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs to boost his average above 300. Over a 12-game period, the hot-hitting Royals hit a team 285. But there's more to the picture than just hitting. Kansas City's crafty defense helped keep opponents to a lowly 230 average over the same 12-game stretch. Pat Sherry Sheridan was shining brightly in Game 2, going 2 for 4 and driving in all 3 Kansas City runs. Also sporting a royal image was left-handed Charlie Leibrandt, who allowed just 3 singles to beat the White Sox 3-0. The win lifted Leibrandt's record to 5-2 and lowered his ERA to 2.5. Next day, the Royals were a picture of success once again, thanks in part to Frank White, who provided a clout in the clutch with an 8th-inning home run that put Kansas City ahead 3-2. If that wasn't enough to take the starch out of the Sox, then ever-reliable Dan Quisenberry was. He picked up 2 saves in the series and had a total of 10 as KC swept the Sox and moved within reach of first place in the West. Moving on to Cleveland, where the Blue Jays were on the warpath. Not even a powwow could prepare the Indians for the raging Blue Jays. George Bell was raging at the plate with 3 hits in one game, including his 8th home run. Bell was batting near .280 with 24 RBIs. Jesse Barfield has really been sizzling. 5 for 13 in the series, batting almost .290 with a 16-game hitting streak. Barfield's been making big strides at the plate this season now that he's playing full time.
I think the mental aspect is what I'm really working on, picking up pitch in different situations, and it comes from experience. Getting a chance to play, I'm going to do a lot better, I believe.
Dennis Lamp got the better of Cleveland with 2 wins in middle relief as Toronto swept all 4 games. Pitching has been key for the Jays. Relief ace Bill Caudle had 9 of the team's league-leading 18 saves, and Toronto won 8 straight games to build the best record in the majors. Now on to Texas for a Ranger roundup over the Red Sox. Good vibrations in Texas, where the last-place Rangers were moving and grooving when Boston came to town for 4 games. In the opener, the Rangers got the right stuff from Gary Ward, who went 3 for 4, including his 2nd career Grand Slam. But the game was all tied up in the bottom of the 9th when Curtis Wilkerson came to bat with the bases loaded. Ball 4 and a 7-6 win for the Rangers. Next night, Red Sox pitchers took a lesson from 37-year-old Charlie Huff, who had the stuff to shut out Boston 1-0 on the strength of 7 strikeouts. More Boston Blues in Game 3. Rookie Oddibe McDowell busted out of an 0-for-17 batting slump with 3 hits and 5 runs driven in as Texas handed the Red Sox their 10th loss in 13 games. Next night, Ranger revival signs continued. Gary Ward went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, and for the series, 10 for 15 with 6 RBIs and 5 runs scored. Cliff Johnson was another red-hot Ranger. 3 RBIs, including home run number 7, raising his average to 300 over an 11-game stretch. Dave Rozema drew raves with a win and a save in the series as Texas swept the slumping Sox and won 6 out of 9 overall. Now, let's review this week in baseball's TWIB notes from around the American League. Shortstop Alan Trammell of the Detroit Tigers and second baseman Lou Whitaker have been playing side by side since coming up together 8 years ago, forming one of the game's best double play combinations. This season, the two again have played a big part in keeping the world champions in the middle of a crowded Eastern Division race. In their first 40 games, they made just 2 errors in 322 combined chances. Batters beware, all right. This dynamic duo is too much. Seattle's Ken Phelps doesn't play every day, but when he does, watch out. 5 of his first 7 hits this year were home runs. Not a big surprise, though, because last year in his first full season, Phelps hit 24 homers and 290 times up, an average of 1 home run every 12.1 at-bats, best ratio in the majors. Hall of Famer Cy Young holds the Major League record for complete games with 751. That's even more amazing when you consider that of 816 games started, Young finished all but 65. By the way, Young also holds the big league record for most wins with 511 and most losses with 313. Hear this.
Cold beer, peanut pretzels.
Ah, the sights and sounds of a ballpark. But some things don't always come through loud and clear. So listen up, because sight gags can have a sound all their own.
2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Yakety, yakety, yak. Did you hear that?
You should have popped that on me before that light came on.
Down in front, you say. Who, me? What an earful. Well, now let's clean the slate for an eyeful of handiwork from good hands people serving up hot stuff. First up, California's Mike Brown. Cleveland Indian Brett Butler. Tribe teammate Tony Bernazard. Seattle's Jack Perconti. Philadelphia's Juan Samuel. Detroit's Alan Trammell. A brave double-up, Rafael Ramirez to Glenn Hubbard to Gerald Perry. A Boston disappearing act by Marty Barrett. Ouch. The Dodgers' Candy Maldonado. The Chicago Cubs' Larry Bowa. Cincinnati Red Dave Concepcion. Another Red doing it barehanded, Ron Oster. Texas Ranger Buddy Bell sounding off at the hot corner and sending it on to Pete O'Brien. Ending with Texas again, Pete O'Brien to Curtis Wilkerson to Charlie Huff for a dandy double play. How about that? And how about a feature on San Diego's Mr. Consistency? Steve Garvey is still going strong at age 36. Batting above 300 with 7 home runs and 27 RBIs, Garvey is a big reason why last year's Western Division winners have a good chance to repeat. Now in his 3rd year with the Padres, Garvey's heart used to belong to Dodger fans. He helped lead Los Angeles to 4 pennants in 13 seasons. As for his resume, a league record 7 years without missing a game, 6 200-hit seasons, 8 straight All-Star appearances, and a league MVP award. Garvey has always set high standards for himself.
I'm always striving to have that perfect day, day after day. And I think if you have this type of incentive and enthusiasm and the willingness to give 100% every day throughout a long, hot season, then I think you're going to improve consistently. And that's what I want to do. I want to still be improving that last year that I played.
Garvey certainly helped improve the Padres. Last year, San Diego won its first pennant ever. And who could forget Garvey's awesome performance in Game 4 of the playoffs against the Chicago Cubs? 4 hits and 5 RBIs, including a dramatic blast in the bottom of the 9th.
Hit high to right center field, way back. Going, it is gone! Steve Garvey in the 9th inning hit one over the 370 mark, and the Padres beat the Cubs 7-5. Oh, Doctor, you can hang a star on that, baby.
I try to drive the ball, especially in those situations. I a lot of times will try to hit the fastball up the middle the other way and pull the breaking pitch so that I make sure that I'm on the ball. And it worked that game. Everything worked for me in that game. It's probably the best game I've ever played collectively under circumstances like that.
Under any circumstances, Garvey's a great one. And now it's time for an Old Spice salute, brought to you by 24-hour strong Old Spice deodorant and antiperspirant. This week, Old Spice salutes rookie Steve Lyons of Boston. Filling in for American League home run leader Tony Armas, Lyons really roared. In his first Major League start, he hammered 2 home runs to spark the Red Sox to a 9-2 romp over Minnesota, their first win in 5 games. In all, 3 hits and 4 RBIs, including the game winner for the young Lions. Congratulations, Steve. And that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.